That was probably the most stressed out I've ever been watching a football game. I'm sitting over here screaming at the television. I'm scaring my new puppy, and I'm sitting here 20-19 thinking it's over, and they changed the narrative. I've been waiting for a win like this my entire life as a Miami Dolphins fan, and they gave it to me. They gave it to me. I've not been this excited over a win since, uh, probably the Ravens game last year. And they gave it to me today. And boy, my emotions throughout this game. There were times. I'm a television screamer. You sit at the game. You sit at the couch with me. I'm screaming at the television. I'm on the edge of my seat. Any given moment, I want to punch the television, but I'm not going to. That's the type of person that I am. And that's the type of emotions this team puts me through. But tonight, they changed the narrative. The Miami Dolphins beat the Dallas Cowboys 22-20, and they're going to the playoffs, and it's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas miracle, folks. Again, I've been waiting for a win like this for years because you have all these fans, Patriot fans, for many, many years. They get wins like that easily. You know, the Cowboys, they used to get wins like that. The Eagles get wins like that all the time. The Chiefs get wins like that. But anytime the Dolphins have a situation late in the season and they need a big game, they blow it. Today, they didn't blow it. They needed to do what they needed to do. Was it pretty? Absolutely not. I thought that we would not be sitting here talking about not a low-scoring game, but a very defensive game for both teams. I wouldn't say it was low-scoring like 13-10, but it was very defensive. Jason Sanders, we've been hard on this guy for a couple years now, basically last year, and how he's not clutch. He doesn't make 50-yard field goals. He made one clutch kick last year. Actually, 3. The game against the New York Jets in final game of the season, he made 3 field goals to get the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs. Today, Jason Sanders made 5 field goals to get the Miami Dolphins in the playoffs. He made field goals from 57. Let me see on my phone here. 57, 52, and 54-yard field goals. And then he made one from 43, not 43. That was Aubrey. 35, and a 29-yard field goal to win the game. So I'm so happy. I am so happy right now. Christmas is saved. Last year, I was miserable during Christmas, and I had to hide my emotions. I told you guys the whole story about last year. I basically had to hide my emotions the entire day, and it was very hard for me to. It's hard when I'm watching these games, when I'm watching these big pressure games, whether it's the Dolphins, whether it's the Phillies, whether it's the 76ers. I have a hard time holding my emotions while watching these games. And sometimes it's worth it. Sometimes it's not. Today, it was fucking worth it. It was absolutely worth it. And again, the Dolphins are going to the playoffs. They changed the narratives. Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, Colin Cowherd. I wonder what those guys are going to say on Tuesday. I'm very excited. Now I can actually click on their videos, and I want to see what they have to say about the Dolphins. Because Colin Cowherd was going on Friday and calling the Dolphins fake Gucci bag and all that shit, and um, and they won. He said Dallas was going to blow them out, but I want to give Dallas credit. Dallas is a good team. That's a good team we beat. We finally beat a good playoff team, and if the Eagles don't fix their secondary and they don't fix their defense, I think Dallas is going to the NFC Championship game. And I would love to see Dallas in the NFC Championship game. Those fans have been through it. It's like the Dolphins. We relate. The Dolphins and the Cowboys. We relate. So I would love to see that team down the road again. I got a lot of respect for them. Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. Mike McCarthy's, I don't know. Maybe he gets fired. But, Dallas has a good defense. Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's amazing. Dallas has a good team, man. And I think it's Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy's not the best coach, but I got a lot of respect for the Dallas Cowboys and their fans. A lot of people think Cowboy fans are obnoxious. I think Cowboy fans are some of the most passionate fans in all of football. So, if you're a Cowboys fan and you're listening to this, keep your head up high. I know it's hard right now. You get another road loss to a good team. I know it's hard to keep your head up high right now, but if you guys get a couple things fixed and you face the Eagles in the NFC divisional round, I think you're going to beat the Eagles, and I'm pulling for you. I really am. So, the Dolphins, they get the much-needed win. They get to squash all the narratives, unless they push the goalpost back. We'll see. Let's get into some stats. I got so much to talk about with this game. This game was wild. Again, my emotions were all over the place. The first half, some things didn't go our way. I felt okay going into halftime. Dolphins were up 9 going into the fourth quarter. Based off what's happened the past couple years, I'm conditioned to think that it's the same old Dolphins. They're going to blow this game. They did blow it at one point, and then they got it back on the last drive of the game, which proves to me that they're not the same old Dolphins, which is just amazing in its own right. So, let's go through some stats. We'll start with Dallas first. The biggest play of the entire game was Dallas. We'll talk about it. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited right now, man. Dak Prescott, 20 for 32, 253 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Dallas couldn't really run the ball a lot today. They had 97 total rushing yards. Tony Pollard had 12 carries for 38 yards. Dak Prescott had 5 rushes for 25 yards. CeeDee Lamb was a problem for the Miami Dolphins. CeeDee Lamb had 6 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. But the Dolphins really did a good job on CeeDee Lamb after the first quarter. Because after the first quarter, CeeDee Lamb was cooking this Miami Dolphins defense. He had 4 catches, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Tolbert had 2 catches for 51 yards. He mossed Xavier Howard. Got an issue with Xavier Howard, man. He did not have a good game today at all. Jake Ferguson, 4 catches, 45 yards, and Brandon Cooks had 2 catches for 14 yards. You look at Dallas' defensive side, the leading tackler of the day was Donovan Wilson with 8 tackles total. Micah Parsons had a half a sack. And Dorrance Armstrong had a half a sack as well. Dallas' defense only got 1 sack against Tua Tagovailoa. With Austin Jackson, he was active, but he didn't play. So, I guess it doesn't matter now, but you got to have your best 5 guys out there. But who am I? Tua, let's go to the Dolphins. Tua, 24 for 37, 293 yards and a touchdown. Again, Tua didn't play great today. I thought Tua played good. It was good enough. But in the playoffs and in games like against the Ravens and the Bills, which could determine the division, home field advantage, he's got to play great. Good's not going to be enough. Today it was. But from here on out, good is not good enough for Tua Tagovailoa. We need him to be great. The running game, the Dolphins had 91 total rushing yards. Raheem Mostert had 11 carries for 46 yards. Devon Achane had 7 carries for 24 yards. And Jeff Big Balls Wilson, Jeff Wilson on that game-winning drive. Some big carries for the Miami Dolphins. He had 5 carries for 21 yards. Jeff Wilson, baby. Tyreek Hill was back today. He was targeted 14 times. He had 9 catches for 99 yards, so I thought Hill had a good day today. Durham Smythe had his best game of the season, 5 catches for 56 yards. Jalen Waddle had 1 catch for 50 yards. This guy is so fragile. We have to have a conversation about him. He's so fragile. He gets poked in the eye. He goes out for a series. He gets tackled. He hurts his shin. He's probably not playing next week now. We have to have a conversation about Jalen Waddle. He's great. He's got another season over 1,000 receiving yards. But dude is so fragile, man. Cedric Wilson had 3 catches for 42 yards. Mostert had 1 catch, 4 yards for a touchdown. Got a receiving touchdown today. Another touchdown for Raheem Mostert. We have to talk about defense and their stats. Andrew Van Ginkel and Brandon Jones led the teams in tackle with 7 tackles. Andrew Van Ginkel had 1.5 sacks. He's now up to 6 sacks on the season. Bradley Chubb had 1.5 sacks. He's got 11 sacks on the season. Zach Saylor had a sack today. He's up to 8.5 sacks. The Miami Dolphins had 4 sacks today against Dak Prescott, which is big. They were able to imply pressure, and they were able to get home. I'm reading Twitter right now. Twitter's going crazy. Twitter is going crazy right now, man. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. It's a Christmas miracle. It really is. It's a Christmas miracle. I'm so happy, man. Let's go over this game. Dallas won the coin toss, and they elected to receive. They wanted the ball first because Dallas, just like Miami, is not good when they're playing from behind. And Dallas, they went 15 plays, 73 yards. They took over 7.5 minutes, and they fumbled. Let's get to it. First play of the game, Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb for 9 yards. Tony Pollard, 6-yard run and a first down. 3rd and 1, Dallas gets a first down. First and 15, Prescott to CeeDee Lamb for 13 yards. And then 3rd and 1, they give it to the fullback again for another first down. 2nd and 10, Dak Prescott to Lupke, the fullback, for 8 yards. On 3rd and 2, Prescott sacked by Bradley Chubb for no loss. And on 4th and 2, at the Miami 31, Prescott finds Jake Ferguson for 20 yards. 1st and 10, Brandon Cooks on an end around for 9 yards, which was a great tackle. Oh, no, not that play. It was this play. Tony Pollard for 1 yard. A great tackle by Deshaun Elliott to get him out of the end zone and prevent Dallas from getting a touchdown. And I'm sitting there. My stupid ass is sitting there. And I'm like, who cares? Dallas is going to get in the end zone anyway. Great play, but they're going to punch it in right now. And I didn't know, but Dak Prescott fumbled. Dak Prescott fumbled, handing it off to the linebacker, to the fullback, and Brandon Jones recovered it. So the Dolphins caught a big break right there. The Dolphins then go 10 plays, 59 yards. Raheem Mostert, the Dolphins start on their own too. Raheem Mostert for 6 yards. Tua went deep to Tyreek on the second play of the game, and Tyreek dropped it. That would have been an explosive play, because if Tyreek catches that ball, bro, that's a 92-yard touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. But on the next play, they get a delay of game called, and then on 3rd and 9, basically the very next play, Jalen Waddle is lined up one-on-one against Stephon Gilmore, and Waddle comes down with the 50-yard catch. That's the only catch he had in this game. He didn't really see much action because he was injured in this game, and he didn't really see a lot of action. 3rd and 3, Tua to Jeff Wilson for 4 yards. Then we get to 3rd and 13 after a 3-yard loss by Raheem Mostert. Tua throws it out. He throws it away, attending for Jalen Waddle. And I thought the Dolphins would punt. They bring on Jason Sanders for a 57-yard field goal, and he just tucks it in to the left side of the goalpost. Your Miami Dolphins are up 3-0. Not so fast, though. Very quick drive for the Dallas Cowboys. 3 plays, 75 yards. First play, CeeDee Lamb for 22 yards. And then Tony Pollard got a 4-yard run. And then the very next play, CeeDee Lamb from Prescott, 49 yards. Goodbye. Vic Fangio, when Xavier Howard didn't play last week, Vic Fangio had the game plan to have Jalen Ramsey shadow down Garrett Wilson, who's the best receiver for the New York Jets. And it worked to perfection, because through 3 quarters, Garrett Wilson had no catches. Garrett Wilson had no targets at all. He had 1 target, and Ramsey knocked the ball away. And in this game, Xavier Howard's back, and CeeDee Lamb was cooking Xavier Howard whenever he was on him, and he was cooking Kader Kohou. When Kohou was on him as well, it was bad. It was bad from the get-go, and he chilled out. He didn't really do much after the rest of this game, but Xavier Howard was getting burnt, and so was Kader Kohou. And Fangio elected not to have Ramsey shadowing down CeeDee Lamb, and it kind of came back to bite them. So we get to the second quarter. The Dolphins go 12 plays, 70 yards. I still hear my dog making noises in there. I think she hears my noise screaming. She's scared. Poor dog, but she'll be all right. She'll be fine. 2nd and 10, Tua to Cedric Wilson for 18 yards. 1st and 10 at the Miami 43. Tua goes to Robbie Chosen for 19 yards. Gets hit hard on the play. Doesn't return. I think it's a concussion. Hopefully he's okay. 2nd and 8, Tua to Achane for 7 yards. 3rd and 1, run up the middle. Raheem Mostert for 15 yards and a first down. 1st and 10 at the Dallas 14. Tua to Alec Ingold, who attempts a hurdle again. He gets 5 yards. Raheem Mostert for 6 yards. 1st and goal, Raheem Mostert, no gain. Then Raheem Mostert loses 2 yards. Teron Armstead tackles Raheem Mostert accidentally, and he hurts Raheem Mostert on the play. And because of that, we didn't really see Raheem Mostert much. He was in the game here and there, but he didn't get as much action as we're used to seeing Raheem Mostert getting. Then on the very next play, Tua goes to Waddle, or he throws an incompletion, and Waddle gets hurt. This is the first time he got hurt. He gets poked in the eye, and he ends up coming back in. but he goes down. And 4th and goal. And McDaniel elects not to take the 3, which was a very, very dumbass call because he throws a goal line fade again and it's incomplete. You gotta stop with the goal line fades. It's a shitty play call, man. You called it against the Titans and it didn't work. And now you call it again on 4th and goal. And they went for it. It wasn't even at their the 2 or 1 yard line. It was at their 5 yard line. And in this type of game, you gotta take the points. You gotta take the points. So that was McDaniel's only bad coaching decision in this game. Maybe another one here and there, which I'll point out. But that was brutal. Because a team like the Cowboys, you get as much points as you need, bro. So, the Dallas Cowboys, they go 5 plays, 14 yards. 3rd and 11. Dak is incomplete to Brandon Cooks. And Christian Wilkins gets called on for roughing the passer, which I don't mind now because Micah Parsons got called on for the same thing. So if you're going to call it against Wilkins, you got to call it against Micah Parsons as well. And that's what happened. So at the end of the day, I really didn't care. Andrew Van Ginkel gets a sack on the next play. So AVG at it again. 3rd and 12. Dak up the middle for 2 yards. Big Zach Zeeler with the stop. The Dolphins then go 6 plays, 31 yards. Jeff Wilson for 6 yards. Tua to Tyreek Hill for 20 yards. Tua to Durham Smythe for 6 yards. And on 3rd and 5, Tua, Achane was open. Just a bad throw. He was off on that throw. But luckily, Jason Sanders is the kicker on the Miami Dolphins. And he nails a 52-yard field goal. And it's 7-6. The Cowboys then go 3 and out. Okay? Cowboys go 3 and out. Dak is sacked on 3rd down by Zach Zeeler. The Dolphins need a score on this possession. They need a touchdown before halftime. They go 8 plays, 71 yards in 2 minutes. First play, Tua to Durham Smythe for 11 yards. 2nd and 10, Tua to Cedric Wilson for 15 yards. 1st and 10, Devon Achane for 9 yards. 2nd and 1, Tua to Durham Smythe for 8 yards. 1st and 10 at the Cowboys 28. Tua to Durham Smythe for 10 yards again. Durham Smythe had his best game of the season today. Tua to Tyreek Hill for 9 yards. Tua was incomplete to Cedric Wilson, but then this is when they get Micah Parsons for roughing the passer. Was it a good call? No, it wasn't. But if you're going to call it for Christian Wilkins, if you're going to call it for the Dolphins, you got to call it for the Cowboys as well. And that's what happened. So good on the refs for making that move. Tua then throws to Raheem Mostert for a 4-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins are up 13-7 at halftime. They get a much-needed touchdown going into halftime. The Dolphins, they go 4 plays, 15 yards. They punt. The Cowboys then go 3 and out in about 50 seconds. The Dolphins, it felt like from this point forward, this was when the game got super stressful for me because there was points on every single drive, and I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat, not knowing what's about to happen. Tua to Tyreek for 17 yards. We'll go 2nd and 9 at the Dallas 42. Tua finds Tyreek for 8 yards. This is the play call I didn't like. 3rd and 1. I want you to run the ball, obviously. But you try to get cute here and pitch it to the left to Achane, and he gets blown up. Teron Armstead was not able to hold up on DeMarcus Lawrence. And at that situation, bro, McDaniel, run it up the fucking middle with Raheem. So, or Jeff Wilson. Jeff Wilson's a powerful back too. Jason Sanders makes another big hit though, so I'll take it. 54 yards. Your Dolphins are up 16-7. The Cowboys, then they go 6 plays, 50 yards. 2nd and 4. Prescott goes deep to Jalen Tolbert, who absolutely toasted Xavier Howard. Bro, I don't think Xavier Howard's been the same corner since 2020. It's not looking good for Xavier Howard. That should have been intercepted, and Tolbert just won that battle. They got all the way down to the Miami 24-yard line. Bend, but don't fucking break. 3rd and 11. Dak scrambles for 14 yards. Illegal shift is called. 3rd and 16. Tony Pollard for 5. Duke Riley with the tackle. And then Brandon Aubrey kicks a 43-yard field goal. And the Cowboys are up. Not the Cowboys. What am I thinking, bro? I'm all over the place. The Dolphins are up 16-10. So then I'm going to speed things up. Let's just speed the video up a little bit. The Dolphins go 9 plays, 58 yards. They get another field goal out of this. 3rd and 8 at the Dallas 34-yard line. Tua to Tyreek for 14 yards. Devon Achane for 5 yards. Tua to Tyreek for a loss of 2. And then 3rd and 7. And again, a bad throw from Tua. Cedric Wilson was open. Could have easily been a first down. Bad throw from our quarterback. Jason Sanders makes a 35-yard field goal. And now we get into the 4th quarter. And I swear to you guys, I wanted to punch the television 5 times during this quarter. I was losing my mind. This quarter. 1st and 10, Dallas. Tony Pollard for 3. 1st and 10 at the 35. Dak to Jake Ferguson for 11 yards. Then Dak gets a 22-yard scramble down to the Miami 32. 3rd and 5. Dak incomplete to Brandon Cooks. Illegal contact on Nick Needham. Dak on 1st and 10 to Jalen Tolbert for 6. And then 3rd and 3 to Rico Dowdle. Bradley Chubb gets pressure in Dak's face. Incomplete. Aubrey kicks a 33-yard field goal, and your Miami Dolphins are up 19-13. Then the Dolphins punt, three and out. Dan Quinn brings the pressure on 3rd and 8, and this was the only sack of the game the Cowboys got on 3rd and 8 at Miami's 27-yard line. Then, this drive frustrated the hell out of me. 3rd down and 6 at the 35. Dak finds CeeDee Lamb for 14 yards. I'm losing my mind. Dak to Schoonmaker for 4. Again, 3rd and 2. Incomplete. 4th down. Basically the game on the line. Dak to CeeDee Lamb, 11 yards. First down. Dak to Jake Ferguson, 7 yards. Rico Dowdle, first down. And the Cowboys are just marching down the field. They get to 3rd and goal. And they bring the pressure. Hendershot, incomplete. 4th and goal. They go to Turpin in the end zone. Incomplete. Pass interference on Deshaun Elliott. I wanted to turn the game off. I wanted to turn the fucking game off when Deshaun Elliott got that pass interference. So, they get down to the 1. They pass. Nobody blocks AVG and Bradley Chubb. They get a sack at the 8-yard line. 3rd and goal. Brandon Cooks touchdown. Being guarded by Jalen Ramsey. I'm like, I've seen this game so many times. And I think at this point, this is when my mom is in the other room. And she's screaming at me to calm the fuck down. I'm like, Mom, I've seen this so many times throughout my life. The Dolphins have a 2-possession lead. They go down in the 4th quarter, and they lose the game. So, of course, I'm going to think the game is over because I've seen this movie so many times. I've seen this movie so many times throughout my life, and the Cowboys take the lead here, 20-19, and we get one last chance. We get one last chance here. Devon Achane for 6 yards. Dallas gets called with a face mask. Tua to Cedric Wilson for 9 yards. Tua to Tyreek for 5 yards. Tua to Alec Ingold for 7 yards. 3rd down and 3 at the Dallas 33-yard line. Mike McDaniel needs to call his best play of the game. And he goes screen to Tyreek Hill, and he burst up the middle for 10 yards. I went fucking nuts. Then, my guy, Jeff Wilson, came through. Jeff Wilson for 8 yards. Then they get a stop against Jeff Wilson. 3rd and 2 at the Dallas 15. Jeff Wilson again for 6 yards at a Dolphins 1st down. 2 kneels from Tua. Jason Sanders from 29 yards. If you want my reaction to the kick, I posted it on Twitter. Made it. Made the kick. The Dolphins win 22-20, and they're going to the playoffs. And it's a Christmas miracle. It's a Christmas miracle. Oh my God. Folks, if you were watching this game with me, folks, you would think that I'm a psycho. That's how nervous I was going into watching this game. If you watch this game with me, you would think that I'm a psychopath, right? I got my dog yesterday, and not even 48 hours, my poor dog thinks I'm a psychopath. So, I promise that's not the case, though. But the Dolphins win. They're 11-4. They're in the dance. Now we will see where the chips fall. The Dolphins have to play the Baltimore Ravens next week in Baltimore on New Year's Eve. They're not flexing that game. It's going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff. And if they win that game, they win the division. Plain and simple. But if they lose that game and the Bills beat the Patriots, then Week 18 is going to be for the division. So, tomorrow night, on Christmas night, the Ravens play the San Francisco 49ers. All Miami Dolphin fans better cheer their ass off for the San Francisco 49ers to win tomorrow night. If they do, the Dolphins will be the number 1 seed going into Baltimore. And it'll be the 11-4 Dolphins against the 11-4 Baltimore Ravens. Ladies and gentlemen, I could talk for as long as I want about this game. But the fact of the matter is, it's Christmas Eve night, and people are wrapping presents. So I'm gonna end it right here. It's just, oh my God, between the emotions for me in this game and the amount of times I panicked in this game, this will be one of the most memorable Miami Dolphin games of my life on Christmas Eve against the Dallas Cowboys. The Dolphins win 22-20, and they're going to the playoffs. Start dancing, fellas. Start dancing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. Comment down below. If you're a Miami Dolphins fan, celebrate in the comments, man. It's going to be a fun night, let me tell you. It's going to be a fun night for me, let me tell you. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter, @Colin_Joseph. I'm so happy, man. Merry Christmas, everybody. Fins up. I'll see you Tuesday with an extra. Let's go!